Sorry guys, just working on something. Give me a second. Cool. Okay, hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Great. Okay. Let's go outside. Excuse me, Lisa? Give it a second for you guys to migrate in. It's a very sunny day today. Lovely sunny day. Let's see what the temperature is. Current temperature is 38 degrees or 2C. So 38 Fahrenheit or 2C. Still got lots of snow on the ground. We're supposed to get it. It's supposed to drop really, really cold this evening. So, and then we're supposed to get a lot of snow. For those that might be wondering, I did the count, and right now we are at 51 inches of snow so far this snow season. So we've actually surpassed last year and the year before that. So our average is at least the average over the last 16 years, because I keep averaging what I averaged. The average over the last 16 years is 93 inches. So if we continue on this particular pace, I'm guessing we will probably reach that average this year. For those that might find that intriguing. Okay, so what's up, Mark? Hope you're having a wonderful day. We've had for those that don't know, we've had a lot of excitement going on the Discord. So if you are interested, you should !Discord and join the Discord. Lots of fun conversations, lots of debates. If you guys want to see people that don't always it's not always an echo chamber, and lots of different ideas and lots of different views, definitely come on. So. Yeah, Mark, we need to talk about, maybe there's some tricks that we can look into that I know about how to address physical internet, because being in the country, I've had to learn how to address some of the bigger internet issues I've had. So I'm gonna take the we're gonna bring the water down over here so that we have that to do later today. And I also have to get some hay for the animals, since I just told you how absolutely frigid it's supposed to be. So the temperature's supposed to drop in half by this evening. So it's supposed to be really frigid cold tonight. One of the coldest nights that we've had so far. So that just means, when you see that kind of stuff, it just means additional planning. It means trying to get things figured out. So So if you're new to my channel, because I know I've had a few people in the last couple days join. If you're new to my channel and you're not sure what we do here, is right now for Let's Let Lisa Feed the Chickens, what our main focus is to focus on feeding the animals, talking a little bit about homesteading, farming, and just to show you kind of the everyday grind of it, so you guys have some idea of what to expect. Stuff that you're going to have to do, stuff that'll become second nature to you, stuff that'll just be regular habit. We also get to look at the beautiful sky. We get to spend some time outside. And we get to absorb a little bit of vitamin D. I'm kind of covered up a whole lot right now, so I'm not getting a whole lot of vitamin D, but a little bit. That's just a place to chit-chat, talk. You guys get to walk around with me as I finish my chores and it just turns into a good time. So I'm actually gonna put that hood back up because there's a little bit of wind whipping down my neck, and the benefit of a hoodie is I don't have a scarf on right now, so we're just getting water filled up at the moment. Whoa. That was weird. I don't know if you guys heard that. I felt that before I heard it, but it was like a bass drum rumble, but everything moved, and the rabbit I know heard it too because the rabbit's ears perked up. So don't know. There's a chance. So things that could have been. I don't know. Again, since you guys, I don't know if you guys heard it or not, but things that could have been is they could have been dynamiting a mountain for mountaintop removal. It could have been just a very gentle earthquake. Guess there is the slight chance it could have been thunder. I'm gonna say that's probably not as likely. But my first likely case of just that boom was maybe they were doing some mountaintop removal. So I don't know. I'll have to go back and see if it showed up on the camera. But I could feel the percussion. It felt like standing next to a bass drum, and it kind of felt in my ears how a bass drum feels. So that's what that boom was, the one that you heard me kind of make a startling thing. Yeah, Ethereum has a lot of good stuff to it. So I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Ethereum. If you a future coin that might be worth looking into just to buy now at the beginning days, any word, is start looking into ADA. That's Cardano. If you've got some extra pocket change sitting around, throw a little bit into Cardano and just put it away. Just lock it away someplace, because Cardano is the next third in the row. So. Yeah, Monero is good for those that want freedom. So, but ADA is kind of the next evolution past Ethereum. The gentleman that created Ethereum, or was involved in the creation of Ethereum, also created ADA. But he had created ADA and wanted to put it in place as a future, as like something that was going to be years from now, not something we're going to necessarily utilize today. I did. So you felt it too? The rabbits all felt it. They all made a thing. I'm not sure what it was. I was just telling the chat. I think it could have been dynamite. It could have been an earthquake. Thunder. I guess it could have been a sonic boom. There is the possibility that what we felt could be a sonic boom. So now that I know Lisa felt it too, and she was on the other side of the yard. So. Anyways, to cycle back around. So yeah, I always own some ADA just because it's cheap. I think it's like 20 some cents right now. And if there's a potential of owning a coin at 20 some cents that could turn into $1,000 a coin. And I'm actually at that particular point. If you've got a little bit of money in crypto, there's nothing wrong with buying $5, maybe $1 or $2 worth of ADA. And if you lose $1 or $2, like who gives a shit? I mean, yeah, you should care, but it's not really that big of a deal with the potential of making, a whole lot on it. So that is totally worth the lottery ticket buy. But ADA is pretty much the only coin right now that I say that's in the low range. That's worth snagging a couple. So as soon as I get this water delivered, Joe Chicken, we will go see the bunnies, and we'll go see the ducks and Sylvia and everybody else. Let's go, I got that water delivered, I got both of them. So let's go say hi to the baby bunnies and see what they're doing today. I will say though, I don't know if you guys can see, the moon is right up there, but But it's nice and sunny, and the sun's really, really warm today. So a nice warm sun here. So it doesn't feel so bad. It doesn't feel so bad to be outside. So it's always a really good thing. So let's get in here and see what's going on with these guys. So we got some bunnies waiting right here. We got that nice little black fluffy guy. He's a cool one. And then we got all the other bunnies just hanging out in their bunny houses, ready for some new bunny food. So these guys definitely need a little bit more hay in here, especially with the cold that's coming. Let's put that out so I can get them some fresh water in a minute. So we got two guys that are kind of lion headish. Two of the black guys that have a lot of the fluffy lion head traits, which is spectacular. So, and then next week, for those that are wondering, next week I'll actually pull all of this hay out, and we'll give all of them all new fresh hay, and then we're going to take all of this hay and use it for one of the future garden plots, probably out in the raised garden bed area. So, but since tonight we're mostly more concerned about making sure they got plenty of nice warm hay, that'll be what our mission is. That'll be what our mission is tonight, is to get them some hay and such. So let's go do that now. Since Lisa's out functioning on that, we're gonna go collect some hay for these guys. A lot of times, you'll do a lot of planning around weather. You'll look for nice days, you'll look for sunny days. Sometimes the direct weather will dictate what you want to do throughout the course of the day. So like yesterday, we were planning on doing a whole lot of stuff outside, and it just kind of got snowy and just wasn't very good outside, so we didn't focus on that as much as we were anticipating to. So that's why we went and looked at the calendar and retooled some stuff and decided that we will wait a little bit longer. So I am going to do today, if you guys see here, I'm going to spin the camera. So this is the collapsed tent. We've got a lot of snow here on the collapsed tent. You guys can see a lot of the snow. I am going to, because I want to limit, see how there's a rip right there? I want to limit the amount of rips and such that this is going on. So I'm going to try to brush off and clean out some of this snow, since this is going to be, since we did lose the tent, but we didn't lose any of the hay in there, because the way I usually design these tents, because I've had them so many times, and I've had them collapse on me quite a few times before too, that I usually try to figure out the best way if I'm going to set them up, so that if they're going to collapse, how to deal with the collapse. So I'll show you guys, so you guys can see, because we had a little bit of rain and such. You guys got a nice chunk right there. That's kind of just a big chunk of ice. So we'll get this out of the way. As you can see, it still holds up. And so you guys can see where right now it's definitely pinching. It's definitely pinching right there. So that'll be the next thing I work on. But I'm gonna go in there and get some of the hay out of here first. Well, actually I can come in here and do this. So I can show you guys another tactic I use. Yeah, Mother Nature's ice cream. Yeah, I can show you another tactic. The only downfall to this tactic is you do run the risk if you don't do this right, you can hurt your neck a little bit. But I've been doing this for a while, so I know a lot of the tactics. So the idea is you figure out roughly where the snow is. And so if you guys see, so I'm on my hands and knees right now. And so what I'm doing is I'm slowly pushing my back up until I can just stand up. just like so. Now I will tell you guys, that is what it's done. The downfall to doing that is you do run the risk of it being heavier than you think you are coming back on you. So be forewarned, know what you're doing before you do it. But being that I know it's sunny outside, that was probably the best tactic to use. So I'm going to set you guys down for just a second. I need to address that, and it is kind of more of a two-handed type thing. So I'll let you guys sit right here so you guys can watch what I'm doing. Give me just a second, and I want to get all that hay, all that snow out of there. Good enough for now. The idea is to get the bulk of the weight off here. I'll come with a shovel and address the rest of that later. And then I'll probably go and do the same thing with my back that we did up that way as well. So, and as Daughter was saying, this is that hay sitting up there. That hay in the back might actually be really good if you want to make the ice cream and such off of, because that hay's only been sitting on this plastic, and so maybe you take the really small layer that's been touching the plastic and then scoop off all the rest, and you know it's not been tainted by the ground or anything, and as long as it's clean hay or clean snow, then it should be good to go. So you'll see these. This is something I tried this year, is I had a few extra boards from working on one of my projects, and I thought I'd put it on top of my hay barns, especially this hay barn. And what that does is that gives an extra gap so that the water, even though it's going to sit on top of the plastic, it kind of gives it an extra gap to be able to sit between the plastic and the hay, because as great as this plastic is, it is still a little bit porous, and it does allow moisture to build up, where this wood kind of slows that down. So just a tactic, something I'm trying new this year, something to try to preserve the hay, since this was just a really fast makeshift barn that we kind of threw together because, well, we weren't expecting to get the hay when it came, and so we were ill prepared, which happens to us about every year. It's funny that I say that, but the truth is it is kind of what happens. Hopefully this year we'll have everything on the run. We'll be extra prepared. I'm really working on trying to make sure that all the different things that we want to do this year, I've got everything planned in place. Since I'm not going to be working a job this year like I was last year, which was just a different thing because I hadn't worked a job in 15 years, like an outside job, outside the house job in 15 years. And so that was, also getting used to working an outside job. So this year I won't be doing an outside job, but we have the finances that we need for some of the bigger projects that we've really been working on. So we're kind of excited about that. So we hopefully should have the farm on the run this year instead of always be chasing it. So we got a good fence for Sylvia. We're going to be putting together all of our fences for our sheep. We're going to be really focusing on hyper growing. We'll be preparing all of the particular area for the interns. If we get lucky enough to get them this year or next year, we'll be doing the workshop where we're teaching about how to build the composting toilets, and we'll also maybe, if all things work out well, we'll be building some type of or remodifying some type of like group housing. So for the interns, we're gonna have some type of group housing and such like that for them to live in and have all the amenities that they need to thrive. So we'll either be building one of those this year, or we'll be modifying something maybe into a little tiny house or something of that sort. So I'm not sure. That all depends on what groups of people we get together, what I'm allowed to do with inviting groups of people here. And just see what happens. I mean, that's kind of what it is. That's kind of how it is on the farm a lot. We got a lot of plans in place, but a lot of it, you play by ear, you play by the seasons, you kind of just see what happens. Because, you never know. You always plan for, as I tell people, guys, plan for the worst, hope for the best. Always have a plan in place. You never know what next. You never know what kind of craziness can happen. You never know how awesome. There could be great things that happen to you, and you need to take advantage of those great things. Like people could, drop animals off here. And as crazy as that might sound as something awesome, having future animals dropped off here at the thing always turns into a blessing. It just turns into something crazy new that we have to learn. So I also will be doing my outreach programs, because it looks like I should be able to do a few of my outreach programs, especially if I scale them to be more outside type things. So it's all about playing in the system. It's all about, not being fret, not fearing the future. Whatever the rules are going to be, play within those rules and then slightly break them a little bit. Always break the rules a little bit. Always put your toes on the line. If you have to be a rule follower, at least put your toes on the line, so that if that's an unjust rule, you've got more support to get rid of it quicker. So it's just the way it is. We could all be afraid. We could live in these fearful times. We could be, we could complain and be upset and wish other people were going to do the things that we want to be done, or we can just do it ourselves, and we can work together. We can team. We can find like-minded people. We can find people that are just out there doing awesome stuff. Befriend them, help them, support them, and just and do some awesome stuff. So, okay, so got a lot of as we're talking here, I'm thinking about where I'm going to put this hay. So I'm grabbing a couple flecks of hay. I think this first flex of hay we're gonna put over there. We're gonna put by the bunnies, and we'll go from bunnies outward and go from there. By the way, guys, if anybody has any questions, anything you would like to know, things that is running on my mind, you want to see some more of the bunnies, you want to see some more of the ducks, the chickens, Sylvia, the pig, whatever, just write it in the chat, ask it. You guys are just passing along with me on my chores, but just as the same as I would do if you guys, were here in real life. We can stop for a few minutes and answer some questions and get out there and see what kind of cool stuff that you guys might have questions about. There are no stupid questions. There's just people sometimes too nervous about asking them, because every question just means that you don't quite know the answer to yet. I ask questions all the time. I'm probably annoying like that, because I like to ask questions. I like to learn as much as I can. Also like to be practical, so I try to ask practical questions unless it's a good time and we're enjoying ourselves, and then I can ask the more in-depth, crazy questions. So, and after we do all this, we'll check out the animals, we'll drop off the hay, and then we'll go for a little walk over into the field. We'll go to look at the market garden areas and some fun things like that. Probably not tomorrow because it's going to be so cold, but I'm getting short on my drinking water. For me personally, because I try to drink water from my cistern. I try to drink water from my springs instead of the house water. So one day, in a few days from now, we'll go for another walk. We'll do another snowy mountain saga where we go for a walk up and collect some water and just talk about how blessed we are that we don't have to live the way our forefathers did, but we do need to remember the lessons that they taught us, and we need to harden ourselves up just a little bit so that we're not so soft. So if bad things happen, we can easily transition into those, and if bad things don't happen, then we can talk about how better and better our life really is getting. we're gonna take this next group of hay that I have right here. Just it's about a quarter a bale I'm carrying right now. We're gonna give this next bale hay to Sylvia the pig, because she likes to spend some time getting it in and such. So everything is really good. My life in general is normally good. So I will tell you guys. Maybe it's because of the lucid dreams I've been having, or things of that sort. I do have an underlining sense of dread, but again, I don't let things like that. It could just be my silly mind. It could just be all the energy that's going on in the world. I do keep that in the back of my mind. It's something I write down and make sure that I know that's there, but I don't fret on it too much. I don't worry about it. I just I pay attention to that instinct and then see if it manifests into anything in the future. Hopefully it will not. Hopefully it's just the circles I've been running around and just the extra stress the world's been feeling. But me personally, health is pretty good. A little tireder than I like, but it's winter, so if there's any time I'm going to be tired, I want it to be right now. Health is good, staying pretty healthy, eating well, drinking well. Family's good. Most of my friends are doing well. So, living, I don't want to say I'm living the dream, but life is good. Very blessed. So my day gets to be 100% mine. I get to do what I want to do every day. Or most every day. Sometimes the animals get to dictate, that kind of stuff, but I'm working on I'm going to be taking some more classes and such online. I found some programs to be taking some online classes to practice some of the woo that I practice and some of the science. So I'll be sharing when I finish the classes, if they seem like they're good. For those that might be interested, I can share the links to the classes, or those that are in financial hardship, I can share some of the information of the classes with you. All the stuff I'm allowed to do, we'll go that route. But I'm also going to probably starting soon. I'm going to be also really hardcore practicing, real hardcore trying to learn more of the violin, because those that know the story is I decided after last year and watching folks like Freedom Grower and some other people play around on music instruments online, I decided that it was long enough that I was not proficient in any type of music instrument. And music does help do different things to your mind. It helps you think in different directions. So I am fairly okay at a harmonica, and I used to sing, but I don't really do either of those too much anymore. So I opted that I was going to get and try to learn the violin. So that is where I'm at next. How much more than this do you think you're going to need?
In here?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay.
That's probably good, because they already had.
And I highly suggest all of you guys out there, if you don't know a musical instrument, pick one, even if it's the recorder, or a flute, or a guitar, or something. It's a good way to open your mind. It's a good way to help you think, and it's also a good way to just add the frustration and stress onto life, onto something, and have it draw it out. So if you're a poet or a singer or something like that, that might be something you can consider as well. But that's part of the Baron's advice, Doc's advice that I should give out there, all you guys, is just pick up some hobbies. Start picking up some very decent hobbies. So. I have lots of hobbies. I think hobbies are vitally important. I consider video gaming a hobby because video gaming is a very good way to build community, to problem solve, to keep your brain sharp. It's like doing crossword puzzles. It's like doing that. If you're playing a game that requires lots of thought, things like Minecraft, things like survival games, simulation games, things that keep your mind sharp, you can do some of that in your free time. You might think, well, how is playing video games, how is that beneficial for me on a homestead? Well, the thing is when you're playing a video game, different events happen that you have to think on your feet, that you have to make the decision right there, right then and there. And the same is true on the homestead. The pig might get out, the fence might break, a storm might knock something out. You might have to make a very drastic, very quick decision. And so the more practice that you have of that, the better. And video games put your mind into that alternate state of thinking it's reality. And so you get in the habit of making quick, well-calculated decisions. So again, not saying use your video games as an addiction, not saying that you should be doing it 24/7 and neglecting the rest of your life, but using it to keep your brain and your mental reflexes sharp. So there's lots of tools out there that we use improperly, but are still tools nonetheless. And when used for the betterment of yourself, are definitely ways to go and things to think about. If you guys not seen it, some of you may have not. So here we are inside the Kuppenheimer. This is the barn. This is the barn that we built out of wooden pallets. So this was a community and friend labor of love. So we've had, about 7 people throughout the course of their life has helped out with building this barn. It's mostly constructed of wooden pallets. So the walls are actually wooden pallets. Those are actually 2 doors from an old wooden screen door that we modified in, and then wooden pallets up there. And then the roof is the only thing that's not wooden pallets because we couldn't think of a safe way to do that. So one of my friends that has built many things, and with the help of my dad, we constructed nice. Here we go. You guys can see the main beam. And then you can see the cross beams. You can see the cross beams that we've constructed for their level of strength and such. And so since we get a lot of snow here, we needed to make sure that those could hold a lot of snow weight. And so all of that. So this is the Kuppenheimer. This is where all of my Bantam chickens come in the wintertime. So each one of these are modular cages, so we can take each one of these out inside in the spring, and we put them throughout different parts of the yard in the grass, and then they mow and they help build up soil and such like that. And then during the winter months, we put rubber bottoms down on them. We put in a deep litter, and then all of the hay and sand and sawdust and such, we take all of that before we bring those out. And we take all of that and put them in our raised garden beds for growing crops in the future, so that we are always creating and building more and more soil here. So in the last 15 years, I've built on the bulk of my farm, I've built about that much soil. So that doesn't sound like a lot, but not having to bring in topsoil to improve your soil quality, being able to build it yourself, and being able to know what kind of soil you're creating is extremely useful, and it adds on top of the bedrock, because here you can be spots because we're on the mountain here in Appalachia in southern West Virginia, I can be trying to dig a post hole, and all of a sudden I can get a foot down, and then I hit bedrock and there's just nothing I can do. So being able to build the soil up and increasing the height of the soil means that in the future, if I need to build something there, cool, or I'm just creating really good quality soil so that if I need to grow something that's more of a root crop, it's got more depth to be able to grow. So and in there we have ducks. That's where the ducks. This is where the majority of the ducks, the chickens, and the guineas go. We'll walk over to it now. We also have the handy run. And this was going to be a greenhouse, but since we had ended up getting a few more chickens, we ended up modifying this into a place to raise ducks and chickens. So next year we'll actually be digging out this, and we're gonna take out enough so I'll be able to walk under this without hitting my head. That is the ultimate goal. And then after that we'll actually be lining the inside of this with cement blocks and such like that, and we'll have like a drop down. You'll come in here and you'll drop down, and it can kind of be a drop down cellar. And then we'll take all of this soil in here, because this soil will be very good soil because of the chickens, because all of the chickens and such that are living here hanging out. This will be a really good soil to move into other things. Also to show you, this is a plant I planted earlier this year. It's just been sitting in a pot. It has just been living inside this pot, and you guys can see how well it does. This is kind of just an experiment, just working on stuff. And then I also have, also in here, I've been keeping potatoes. So there's potatoes in here. I don't want them to sprout. That's why it's good to stay nice and cold. But what's cool is the chickens will come in here and they will do a little bit of dirt bathing, and so they'll cur this up. They'll also do a little bit of pooping in here, so it'll be fertilizing. So they're going to do that. The potatoes are nice and secure down here at the bottom. Let me see if I can show you one. Give me just a second so I can reach down there and grab you a good one. I only put a few tomatoes. Okay, so here we go. So here is a potato. What's great is, I don't know if you guys can see, this potato has already started producing a few baby potatoes. Let me see if I can get that. Okay, maybe I can get it cleared up that way. Okay, already started producing a bunch of baby potatoes. This will be a good ready to start seed potato for the spring. And since I have this extra spot and had these extra pots anyways, I just leave them in here. And if the chickens get in here and eat them, no big deal. That's just more food for them. But if I've got potatoes left over, when I'll have some potatoes left over in the spring, it'll be some ready for some good seed potatoes to pop into the soil. So I've got a couple of them going on in here, and then we have our water container in here. Well, and so this is just a simple little makeshift barn. We put plastic up around the walls, and then we put wood up around it. And the only thing I do suggest doing is buying a exhaust fan. So I went and got a good, just a high velocity exhaust fan to put up here in the window, so that it can blow out, as you guys can see, it blows out a lot of dust, but it also keeps the humidity less in here. And then I have the camera for those that know that we like to always see what's going on in all of our barns. And on the Mavis Pharmacy page, that's the camera you can actually be looking at. But that's one there. But these guys are ready to hang out here. If you guys notice, there is 2 roosters in here, just to show you that you actually can keep multiple roosters together. So we got 2 roosters in here, a hen, and a couple guineas. So what'll happen in the rooster thing is these guys, one's the alpha, one's the beta. Actually, in this particular thing, these guys are pretty equal. So, because this guy pretty much raises the guineas, these guys, and then this rooster has these 2 hens, and so they've kind of eked out their existence, their friendship. So just one of the things for those that think you can only have 1 rooster. Nope, look right there. 2 living right next to each other, being buddies, being pals. It's not there's a lot of myths when it comes to farming that a lot of people end up buying into that are not true. So here is where we've been dumping all of the dirt. This is going to be a raised flower bed here. So this is actually hugelkultur. There's wood underneath all of this. And so we're actually gonna be raising this level up and up, and then we'll be planting more seasonal crops there. And probably because of the rabbits and such, now I will actually have to be putting a fence in, just like I've had to fence around my fruit trees, because if I don't fence around my fruit trees, the rabbits will come in here and girdle these. It just means they'll eat the bark and such around. But in general, it's still working with all the animals. We're not working against them. We're utilizing the skills that they have, and we're utilizing all of the benefit that they're giving to the farm. So we'll walk over to the ponds. So this one's been holding water very, very nicely. The earthworks dam that I've been working on right there, you can't quite see in the sun. The earthworks dam I've been working on there is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. So, and then these guys, this was frozen again, and these guys jump in here, and these guys jump in here, and they open it up, and so they guys can come in here and they can take their bath and, you know, just be ducks, because ducks always like to spend time in water. So, and if you're wondering what these little things are, these are the bunny greenhouses that Lisa made. These are just escape little areas for the bunnies to come if they get really cold. These actually warm up really, really warm in there. So, and we have 2 of those. As you guys can see, some bunnies there. So here comes one of the bunnies right now. But here's an example. If you guys look, you guys can see how this tree has been pretty much completely girdled. Unfortunately, we've probably lost this fruit tree. So, but I've got a new area where we're going to be moving to a fruit forest anyways. So as much as I don't necessarily like that I was losing trees, we were starting to have problems with this here anyways. So this is a type of fungus and such that is living here, and has taken over my pear tree, or taken over my plum tree. So we'll be doing some more. We'll be moving around the trees, the fruit forest, and doing other things. That was just that was my first attempt at a fruit forest, and I made lots and lots of mistakes. But now I know a lot more about that. So when we get trees this fall, when I get trees this spring, we'll be doing some bigger. We'll be addressing some of the mistakes that I made with that last one, and building this new fruit forest so that it's a thriving, wonderful fruit forest in the future. So those that might be wondering what a fruit forest is a little different than an orchard. An orchard is where you have well-defined trees, you've got them in rows, and your sole purpose of them is just for crops. A fruit forest is where you're constructing an entire forest, so you do allow some understory plants to grow up. You might have some mixed types of plants in there, and you're also letting the tree be more of a tree. Now you are taking yields off of those, but you're designing it and you're functioning it more like a forest than you are like an agricultural crop. And so there's absolutely big pros and cons of doing fruit forests. Fruit forests are usually a little bit more resilient to pests coming in, so you don't have to do the spraying, you don't have to do that. But you also you do have the potential of a major reduction in yield by doing that as well, because you're not trimming and doing all of the regular things that you might do. So fruit forests aren't necessarily for those that are going to get into the orchard business, that really want to make a whole lot of money off of growing plants, or growing your fruit trees and such. But if you're a homesteader, or you're just going to do a little bit of things, backyard farming, and maybe some market gardening and such like that, it could be a better option for you. So I always come back and check on my shiitake logs, because that's what these are. These are my micro shiitake logs with my little experiments, just to see how well they're doing. So they grow shiitakes every once in a while. We've had pretty good yields out of them. These logs have given me a couple. So I have lots of apples, cherries, plums, pears, We had an apricot and we had a peach, but apricots and peaches don't do quite as well here. Next year we'll be adding some pawpaw, some quince. We'll probably be adding a few nut trees that do well here into the fruit forest. So thank you so much for the ice creams. So you kind of need to know your region a little bit. And once you know your region, you start figuring out what works out best. Maybe talk to some of your neighbors, maybe see what plants that you've naturally seen growing in your particular area, and invite those in and bring those in. And then maybe even talk to an arborist or talk to someone that has fruit trees and see if there's a particular one that does even better in your region. So I tried I tried peaches, even though I knew peaches weren't necessarily going to do well here. I just thought I'd give it a shot to see what happened, and yeah, the climate here in the foothills of Appalachia, here at just under 3,700 feet, just are not quite suitable. We get a little too cold. We're not in, like, you'll see them mark what zone that they say we're in. I'm not really in the zone that they say I'm in. I'm kind of like a half zone less than what they say it in. That half zone less can actually make a world of difference when it comes to trying to have certain plants and grow certain things. So here we are at the market garden. You guys can see where we're getting everything set up. Everything's been set up. We'll be doing some major expansions of this in the spring as soon as I can. So I think what we're gonna do is all of this area over here that's cleared, I think that's where we're gonna be putting in a lot of our raised beds. I think the raised bed plan is what we've opted, especially with the, as you guys can see, the slant of the hill. I think the raised bed is going to be the best tactic. Here's the where we're gonna do some early beds where we'll put some plastic around those. And again, guys, for those that want to know the absolutely cheapest, quickest way to do a low tunnel, and I'm going to be putting together a worksheet with all of this that'll be available on the Discord or on my website, which is !Discord for the Discord, and I think it's !M for my website. But this is just I can get it in the sun. This is just Schedule 40 non-metallic conduit. This is just your conduit. This happens to be 1/2-inch conduit. I think number 16 for those that don't use that kind of stuff. This is just a piece of conduit. And then right here at the bottom, you guys can see this just happens to be some fence rebarb. So this is just that metal fence rebarb I found here. For me, it's the absolute cheapest to just pick up that. You just get 2 pieces, you put one down, and then you just slide it over. And then the reason I have it in the winter is it still has a lot of memory to it, and so if you heat this up and then you immediately cool it, it'll actually keep it to stay in its shape longer instead of wanting to return to its vertical memory. And the longer you have them in the cold or in the warm in this particular shape, they'll remember that shape more and more efficiently. So, oh, here we go, guys. This is one of the fence post things that I was talking about. This is one of the fence post rebarbs. These seem to be the absolute cheapest for me, but if you don't have like a farming place around, you can always just get a piece of rebarb like this, the kind you buy at Lowe's or Home Depot or your favorite hardware store, and then you can just hammer this into the ground and slide that in. You guys might be wondering what this is. So if you guys have a riding lawnmower and you're ready to switch out your riding lawnmower blades, let me tell you, snag out your riding lawnmower blade. It's got a nice grip, and you can sharpen up the ends of it just a little bit, and these make really good tools to bushwhack and such. It's almost like you can make a homemade machete. And then what you can also do is, if you don't necessarily like holding on to metal, because it's got these nice holes in here, you can plane yourself a couple pieces of wood. You can drill your holes through there, and then you can make yourself a really nice handle by driving them right through there, And you're just going to probably throw away these old blades anyways off of your lawnmower. So a good way to give yourself another tool to use on the farm, and absolutely crazy recycling. I think maybe one day we'll I'll pull one right off of a lawnmower. I'll show you exactly how you take them off of the lawnmower, and then maybe we'll get together. We'll get together some wood. Maybe I'll have it pre-planed, or I'll see if one of my friends is willing to do a planing class or something like that. And I'll show you just how to make yourself a makeshift sword/knife chopping tool, because it's a lot easier than you think it is. And again, that's a nice big chunk of metal. No reason to letting it go to waste. And if you don't know how to sharpen, you can either get some videos online and see that, or find somebody locally that sharpens knives and sharpens stuff and have them sharpen it for you. We're just doing a quick little 360 view because some of you like to see what it's like here on the farm. There we are, back to the beginning. So we're gonna trumps back down to the to where everybody's at. See if Lisa's gonna need how much more hay Lisa thinks she's gonna need. And we'll go say hi to the bunnies some more. Hope everyone's enjoying their Friday. I don't have the supplies ready to teach the kombucha class just yet, but very soon. I'm looking. I did not have. I could not find the kombucha I needed, so I didn't have the note. I did not have the kombucha. I didn't have the yerba mate I need just yet to be able to make the. To make my kombucha. I might brew up some tea and turn a couple of them into a black tea kombucha, but I normally, when I do my bulk stuff, I do it through yerba mate. So, hello, here kitty kitty. Yeah, notifications are always acting silly lately, so sorry that you missed it, but we're getting ready to go. We're gonna go say hi to the baby bunnies again, because I know a lot of you might not have seen and got a chance to talk and see your fix of baby bunnies today, so we will go back and say hi to the young baby bunnies and see how quickly they're growing as we walk back and such. So, and then after the kombucha class, we might be doing a water kefir class, or maybe I can finally get Lisa we can do a sourdough class, teach you guys a little bit about how to making sourdough bread. And then we're getting really close to time that we can start. Some of us can start growing stuff inside. So we'll be able to start some seeds, especially seeds that require long germination or long growing periods of time. We'll be able to start some of those seeds and talk about our techniques, and then we'll do a seed soil class, because seed soil is a little bit better to grow seeds in than regular soil, because, well, we'll talk about that too, but we'll do a seed soil class, so maybe I can teach you guys how to grow how to germinate and start your seeds more effectively without having to go and spend that expensive money at the store for all of the crazy seeds that exist then. So here we are. Lisa is she's giving water in them to these guys, so we're going to jump down and say hi to the bunnies, the babies. What? I was in there once, yeah, we went and looked at the bunnies once already. And you see I put all the hay right there.
Yeah. See, there's the Callie. Always up front, center.
So, that little guy, he's super fuzzy. So we got at least we have pretty much two black lion heads.
There's a little blonde guy with like a black tail, black point nose and the ears.
No, I know. But I'm just saying we've got two of the guys are very much like, that guy's very much a lion head. And we got a lot of cool guys creeping out there. Bunny's ready to eat. My favorite guy, he must be hiding back in there right now. He's the one that's gonna probably come live in the house and gonna be more of the education. Right there he is. See that guy right there, the guy with the gray nose and look super fuzzy. He's probably going to turn, he or she, we're not sure yet, but they're going to probably turn into a one of the educational bunnies that we use. And so trying to get something handled a lot. I like that one because it doesn't look like doesn't have the same colorations as all your typical bunnies and such. So.
And it was calm.
Oh, pile of bunnies.
Hi guys.
And remember, guys, I do have the camera that's right there, so if you guys do want to jump over and see and watch the bunnies from time to time, I think the internet's up and working well again, so I think that if it's Mavis Farmacy, as you guys can jump on there and see all of the bunnies and things of that sort. And then here's the 2 calico guys. These are the girls that were born earlier in the year. So everybody in here was born this year, or was born in 2020. These guys already know the sound of food.
Well, they're always last. You get hay for the handy barn?
I did not. I will get hay.
A little bit maybe for the regular barn floor, but not. And when I'm not going to put it down till tonight after everybody's done being
Okay.
wet.
Yeah, I'll go get some hay right now in just a minute for that. I'm sitting here for 1 second, guys, because I do want to see if the bunny that I want to capture swings out, if I can grab him.
He will when I get food out there. She. Okay. You guys good? Good. It's alright.
Yeah, that one right there, here, kitty kitty, the one that's in the box and running across the back. Yep, there's 2 of them that kind of have the longer black. They have 2 of them that kind of have the longer black fur. So.
Where's my kiss, Calico? Who's the kisser?
Well, that's the gray one that's in the other barn now.
Who's the kisser? No, one of the calicos kisses me all the time too. This one.
Okay.
Probably. Yep. And Chap in the other barn gives me a daily kiss. Oh, they're digging over there. I don't know what they're digging for.
That's what I was saying. Like, we're probably
China.
the next nice day, we'll probably have to clean out some of this in here with so many bunnies.
Sure. I mean, they need to be able to dig like the dirt.
Yeah.
Like they're digging. And it's keeping them a little warmer because air comes up through there. But, yeah, watch out. The only good thing about them, this cage is tilting is that all the bad stuff tilts this way. Was it empty when you opened it? Should I put more in there?
It was almost empty. It wasn't completely empty. Okay. I had to pour out a little bit of water.
Because it wasn't all the way full yesterday, so. Just trying to monitor how much they got. Okay. Watch out. There, right there. You just missed it. Right there. Right there, front and center. Here, do this. It knows it wants to be caught.
It does. We'll leave that one again. I'm going to go see what's making that buzzing.
Here you are. It totally knows. Look at his eye on you. There you go.
Okay, I think that's something down in the building, not in our building. Okay, so we're gonna go grab I'm gonna go grab a little bit more hay for the handy run. The one barn that I was showing you guys with the chicken sitting up top, we'll put a little bit of hay down. Always a good idea if you know that a cold snap's coming, or you know that there's a lots of rain or lots of moisture. That's probably the best time. That's probably the best time to add your hay and such like that. Yeah, here, kitty. Some of the bunnies are really smart. They figure it out that like you're kind of, try to go after just them. And so that particular bunny, I think I've told it enough times that in the future it's going to come live in the house, and it doesn't know what that means, so it wants to stay with all of its friends. So, good instincts. Some of them have really good instincts, some of the bunnies don't. Hence the reason why we don't always allow all of our bunnies to live outside. Is some of the bunnies that don't have good instincts, we're not purposely trying to feed the wildlife. So we want the ones that are smart enough to know the different ways to survive. Have the guys that can be out in adventure and do their thing. So got a fleck of hay, and we're gonna go spread it out into we're actually not gonna spread it out just yet. We're gonna put it into the handy run so that when it's ready, we can spread it out this evening. It was right there. I see it. Right up top. Right above it. Right there. Well, guys, is there anything else before I head in? Anything else that you guys want to talk about? Anything else you wanted to see? Anything else that you have a question about here at the farm? I'm going to fix the radio. It's very quiet. So those that don't know, we do have radios. So I have little radios that I play in each barn, and then we also have I also have LED lights. Just I found that both of those do a good job of keep outside predators away. I used to play the local radio stations, but now that those little portable radios, they take SD cards, micro SD cards, so we just put in our own music, and so we can change it up and jam it out. So we've got a couple hundred hours worth of music on there. So, and then here in the barn, we also have another radio right there playing as well. And then you guys saw the Christmas lights up above my head. And then we also have, because I do think what I've learned is exhaust fans are kind of important in barns. So there's the exhaust fan that we have over here, exhausting stuff out. We didn't have an exhaust fan the last couple years, and I noticed that the humidity level in the barn would get really, really high. So I added the exhaust fans, and the humidity level does a wonderful job, and the humidity level drops down. Now, everything was going good, but both of my thermometers broke a couple days ago, so I'm waiting to order some more and have them replaced so I can keep track and document down the humidity and do some more documentation. But what it seemed like over the last, since winter started and I brought this in, the exhaust fans have made a world of difference. So let me show you guys something else that's funny. This is the pro and con. It's always good to have a good shop fan in your barn, but you do have to remember that if you have chickens and ducks, you're gonna have lots of feathers. So it's a good idea to regularly clean out your fans. That's why this one's currently turned off. But having air circulation in your barn is also very, very important. It helps stop stuff that you don't want growing in here growing, because barns are going to just naturally be things where stuff wants to grow. And so it also keeps the smell down. So like if for some reason, you know, the animals had to be in for a couple days because the weather was just poor or such like that, having a fan in here, being able to do the air circulation, it's just a good idea. It's always a good idea to have good air circulation. I also include this in your house. You should always have good air circulation. So I think air circulation is a lot more important than energy conservation, because a house that you can breathe in, a house that's not, that air is always moving, is closer to how our lungs and how we've naturally designed, because what that does is that'll keep a lot of the bad stuff from doing bad things to you. So this is the vestibule. This is the area where we transition from outside to inside, and during the winter months it does a good job of helping preserve the heat inside the building. So, well guys, I think I'm going to be heading back to the house now. So thanks everyone for joining me on this fun adventure today. Again guys, remember !Discord if you want to join the Discord. That's where we talk about, share ideas, talk about stuff. It's also where you get like the little reminders of when I'm going streaming, because since it looks like the streaming services are not always doing a good job of getting the message out there to everyone. So you guys can do that, and if you want to check out what we do here on a regular basis, my nonprofit and such like that, you can type in !M, and that will take you to my website. So, and yeah, here kitty kitty, you also have a wonderful, great weekend. I will. And to everyone else, stay tuned. We've got lots of stuff coming up for the next couple of years, and always doing streams about a variety of stuff. We don't just always talk about farming and homesteading. Sometimes we talk about a variety of other stuff. So stick around, join us on some other fun adventures, and other than that, guys, thank you guys all for being here. I'm always so grateful to see you guys. And here kitty kitty, thank you again all for the lemons, and everyone else that donated today. Thank you guys all. The animals absolutely very much appreciate it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. It's the Baron Doc Justin, whatever you'd like to call me. Have yourself a wonderful day. Adios.